Welcome to part 2, where I am going to be giving ratings to all the main events of WrestleMania. Let's get right into it. WrestleMania 11's main event was Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow. In an ideal world, this would have never ever been the main event of WrestleMania, but I can see why they did it. I can't award this match any stars. It was not good. WrestleMania 12, however, was great. I remember watching it when it first came on, and I loved it. Now, looking back on it, it does drag on a wee bit, but I think this has to be given 5 stars. Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, two of the best performers in-ring, maybe ever. And they put on a wrestling clinic here. Next we have WrestleMania 13 main event. WrestleMania 13 was of course overshadowed by Austin v Hart, which was arguably one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, and had a dud main event. Psycho Sid and The Undertaker, both whom I love. I've got lots of respect for The Undertaker and like Sid's work. I think Sid should be in the Hall of Fame. But this match was worse than Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow. This was dreadful. The most exciting parts of the match was when Bret Hart kept coming back to interfere. So again, no stars for this one. This was a stinker. WrestleMania 14, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels, Special Enforcer Mike Tyson. I believe Michaels and Austin could have put on a greater match than this, but with Michaels' back issues and head problems at the time, I think prevented that. But it was still a 3-star solid affair. Next we have WrestleMania 15, The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin 1. I think their Backlash match was better than a month after. It was still a pretty entertaining match, but I can only give it 3 stars. WrestleMania 2000, clusterfuck main event. It dragged on in parts, but it was still pretty solid throughout. 3 stars for The Rock versus Triple H versus Big Show versus Mick Foley. WrestleMania 17. This was the first WrestleMania I watched live, and it's the best WrestleMania ever still. How many years has it been? 16 years now. Just from top to bottom, what a show. The main event, Austin versus Rock, wasn't only the greatest WrestleMania main event of all time. Spoilers for this 3-part series. 5 stars, 6 stars I'll give it actually. Bonus star for being so awesome. But it's one of the greatest professional wrestling matches that I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen Shawn Michaels v The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25 in person, and I think Rock v Austin 2 from WrestleMania 17 was better than that. So yeah, 6 stars for that main event. WrestleMania 18, the main event should have been Hogan versus The Rock, which was awesome. But instead we got Triple H versus Chris Jericho, which I don't think it was a long match, but it dragged on. Just Triple H, Jericho, they could have put in a better match than this, and it was placed at the wrong end of the card. It should have been before Hogan, Rock, and yeah, 2 stars out of 5. I think that's being generous for the WrestleMania 18 main event. WrestleMania 19 saw Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle. I think these two have put on better matches. Their SmackDown match that happened the same year, that went on for like about 30 minutes, that was a 5-star match. This main event at WrestleMania, I'm going to give it 4 stars out of 5. It wasn't their best match I've seen them in, but it was still a hell of a wrestling match and a hell of a main event between two great athletes. And I have covered WrestleMania 20 from top to bottom in a video lately, and I loved the main event, Chris Benoit versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels 5 stars, one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time. And that's my conclusion of part 2 of my WrestleMania main event ratings. I'll be back again for part 3.